Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Clueless Trading Frank. It's approximately 9:03 p.m. on a cloudy evening here on the New Jersey, New York City waterfront. Absolutely gorgeous views of my patio of downtown Manhattan, Wall Street, Statue of Liberty, you name it, Hudson River, where all the bodies are dumped. I'm just kidding. The session will be recorded, uploaded to the YouTube channel. Quick marketing plug. There are two things that I need every single person listening to this to do. It's free, doesn't cost you any money. And I know everybody likes free stuff, aside from my fantastic trade alerts, which are almost free. Is tell all your friends and buddies to sign up for the Instagram channel, Clueless Trading Clueless Trading on Instagram. We need a lot of followers. We're getting up to about 200. We'd like to get about 1,000. And the least that anyone can do for Clueless Trading, for all the efforts that we make, is to go ahead and tell everyone to just click follow. Doesn't matter if they don't have an Instagram account. They just have to click and follow. That's it. And let them see some phenomenal resources done by one of my traders and partners in the crime. And he does some fantastic videos and puts out the highlights of the stuff that we do. And it's a great place to see the performance of what we're doing and some insights into the charts and everything. Okay. And secondly, everyone should go out there if they want to hear my lovely voice and hear the insights on the reality of US financial markets and everything that goes on and analysis of it and some fantastic guidance on what might happen. Please have all your friends, colleagues, family, dogs, cats, bunnies, rabbits, whatever you have, to sign up. To just put in their email and subscribe to the Clueless Trading YouTube channel. We have Facebook, we have LinkedIn, and we have the public, not private, the public, non-paid Clueless Twitter at Clueless8FR. That's for Frank or for robot. How about that? Okay? Clueless8FR. That's it. So, on that note, let us begin. So, before I get into the charts and all that mumbo jumbo, let me just get straight to the fact. I want to keep this short and sweet. We are in a very weird environment. I'm talking about weird. When I'm looking at markets in China at 2 in the morning while I'm watching a show on Xfinity and Netflix, watch a brilliant movie on Netflix, on Xfinity last night about CIA and drug cartels, which my social media director and fellow trader, which I will not name, already knew, which was amazing. And I'm watching the China markets, what they're going to do. And at 4 a.m., my eyes blink up because one of my cats or dogs is sleeping next to me. Wake me up. Maybe they're better traders than I am. And I'm starting to see what the European markets are going to open at. There is something very dramatic going on. Gentlemen, these are strange times that we live in. It's not good or bad. It's been good. We have had huge winners in multiple stocks right after open. 100, 200 plus percent gap opens on individual options charts. You know the ones we're talking about. Netflix, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, Tesla, which is up almost $4 after hours. probably going to be the biggest winner. Well, has been the biggest winner over the last couple of weeks. And so many others. Oh, Regeneron, Sarepta Therapeutics. Just wake up to these biotechs. All of a sudden, it's the drug profits, real drugs, not the garbage, mind altering drugs, drugs that save people. So we have a lot of them. But then the trade management comes in. Do you sell the gap open? Or almost all of it? Do you re enter some trades that you're down for the day? Happens to me. So the reality of trading is not a walk in the park. This ain't your grandpa's market. With all due respect to my grandpas and grandmas and my parents who have passed away many years ago. God bless them. And they were very smart people. This ain't grandpa's market. This is a market where you will have to look at my charts, take the profits as needed, because everything that I say is going to happen, almost everything, 70 to 80% of the time, does happen. Even the swing trades in between twists and turns get up to where I say they're going to get up to. I would like somebody to come out and say, hey, one of your swing trades didn't work. In fact, I back-checked a lot of my swing trades, so challenge me if you want, because I like it. I like challenge. Almost 70 to 80% of my swing trades have gotten to those highest levels that I talked about. Yes, they might not have happened within a week, but they happened within a couple of weeks or a month or two. And my momentum trades happen within hours, if not minutes sometimes. It's a fact. Does that classify me as a genius? No. It just simply classifies me as a clueless trader who is respectful of everything that happens in the market, every volatility that comes through, every buy points that I say buy, and then they ramp. And yes, today was one of those few days which I regret, that after making all those profits on this huge ramp, I did not put out multiple shorts along the way as the candles were dropping. An honest man, a straightforward guy like me, I am straightforward actually. I'm not a nice guy, but I'm straightforward. New York guy. We admit our faults. And my fault was today that I did not make a ton of money, which I could have very easily after making a ton of money on the way up from yesterday's close and today's huge ramp up. I did not make money on the way down. And some of our members did. And a big shout out to our good friend and fellow trader, Bob Bajic, who actually went short. He wasn't very happy when these things were going on, but he had some longs too. But then he went short a couple of lottos on Google and SPX, and he made out like a bandit. So credit is due where it matters. So Bob, big shout out to you. And stop texting me so much. Just kidding. All right. He's an old member. So that's what happened. Now, there are many ways to skin a cat in this market. You can look for tactical bottoms, or you can try to short every little thing that comes down. Today, I made a mistake. The mistake was not this. That was big dollars. Big dollars on multiple stocks. You know what they are. They're all over the Twitter feed. Netflix, Tesla, Amazon, Facebook, Regeneron, SPX, SPY, Spotify, and multiple others. But those are the primary ones. But what I didn't do, what was my fault, so I'm going to draw a sad face, was I did not capitalize on the move down. Okay. Do I make excuse for it? Never. Do I admit my fault? Yes. That's what every single trader should do. They should admit their faults when it's needed. Rejoice in your successes, learn from your failures. My rejoice was every single major move that I call. My failure today was I did not make money. And as a trader, as a performance trader, as a high performance trader, I regret. And I did slap myself twice on the face, which you all should do many times because you screw up a lot, many of you. So this was big dollars, and this was negative dollars. Not because we lost, it's simply because what we didn't do means what you didn't make. A lot of things going on, guys. A lot of things going on, okay? You got the trade tariff war, which, as in my opinion, was all positive, from Steve Mnuchin to the CFIUS review of foreign investments in the U.S. All that was positive. What I think happened, which I explained a couple of times on the Twitter feed, was that huge drop on the China. I sound like Trump. China, not China. China, okay? Thing that happened overnight. I'm talking about 400 points. I'm watching what's it called? Forget the name of the movie. Unbelievable. Ask my good friend Dano here. He knows the name. So between 2 and 3:30, I'm watching the markets just fall. Like, wow. And our futures were only down 4 or 5. I knew it was going to catch up. Our futures were down 17 or 15 at one point before they took off. US markets are resilient. We have very, very strong markets. And a lot of the pressure, in fact, all the pressure that's coming from into the US markets is because of overseas massive institutional margin sellouts. Now, some of you who are well versed in English and some of you who are not, well, I suggest that you do. It simply means when you're forced to sell. When you get huge margin calls, which are in the tens of millions of dollars from hedge funds and institutional funds who are in multiple stocks, from here to the Alibabas of the world and the NetEase and all those other emerging market stocks, which we have been avoiding recently, if you haven't noticed, then you will get a margin call. And not only that, you will get for that margin call, which are in the tens of millions of dollars, you will have to come up with the cash. Now, you can't always raise the cash by calling your clients and say, hey, Mr. Jones, sell me in $1 million right now. No. You will have to sell your existing positions in order to come up with the cash to balance your portfolio. That is called a forced margin sellout. You're forced to sell. I saw that many, 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 many times in the days that we were in the portfolio management team on the firms on Wall Street that I worked on. It always happens with individual investors too. Now, China, unfortunately, has some of the highest leverage ratios, which means they are the biggest gamblers in the world. And they have huge margin calls. US wins, China loses when it comes to the game of stocks. In the game of trade, we do win, but we are dependent on the global economy for our exports. So we have to be careful on what we do. You know my thoughts. Listen to my old videos. I am a patriot. I am the biggest supporter of every veteran that comes into our nation from foreign wars. And trust me, you can check my records. Okay? But We cannot go ballistic on our trading partners because we do depend on them. We are not an isolationist nation. This is a global economy. So, the second thing what's going on is the whole panic factor with the market. Mom and pop is just like, what the heck is going on? One day we're up 2000, I mean 200, one day we're down 600, we go up 400 one day and then we drop the same, 278 points, 300 points, today, and then we give back 165. That is one heck of a reversal. VIX is rising at the end of the day, and they're just like, hold on a minute, I can't deal with this stuff. Well, therein comes in the tactical portion of what we do. Because we are not mom and pop traders. We are, in essence, in the way we do things at Clueless Trading, we want to be robotic traders. Is it easy? Absolutely not. If you're not managing your trades in the right fashion and not trading off my charts, then you are up a couple of $100, couple of $1,000, and if you're not managing your trade and selling those technical levels that I keep on showing, those couple of $1,000 that you're up on at 10 a.m., you're down a couple of $1,000 for no fault of your own at the end of the day. And if you're a smaller trader, a couple of $100 that you're up on feeling great disappear. Do you blame everything around you? No. Blame yourself. Sometimes actually don't even blame yourself because the markets are absolutely robotic. And if you don't think that these candles look robotic, then go watch Star Wars. Just kidding. No, seriously. This is systematic institutional selling, forced margin sellouts, and another factor that's coming into play at the end of the second quarter, which is big window dressing, okay, and then forced sellouts. Now, do you think this might not happen tomorrow? Up, down. This is today, by the way. This is not like 20 days, let me clean this. This is today. All right, from 7 a.m. in the morning pre-market to where the market closed around there. This is today. So do you not think that this might happen? And that's why you have to learn to read my charts. Now, many of you have taken the ACS advanced coaching sessions where I will tell you, it's a fact, it's not a marketing pitch, where I have explained in detail. I charge for an hour like pittance. You don't even pay your nanny, your gardener, your dog walker, or whatever you do. You don't even pay for that for a nice little lunch. I charge very little rates to explain things that will make you thousands of dollars. But many of you don't do it because you know what it is? You're all welfare. So many of you are just welfare recipients when it comes to trading. You just want everything for free. $70 a month. Hey, what's the thing? I made a couple of $100. I made a couple of $1,000. I made more than that, which a lot of clients, not clients, what do you call customers do, members do. But you won't take that extra step to spend 200 and some dollars to really learn the mechanics of how you need to manage your trade. Which brings me to my really important point. The markets have gone, the structured volatility in the markets are at hyperspeed now. I will give you trades which, if you don't take those profits off the table, long and short, you will suffer. And many of you have. And this has nothing to do with me. The markets will be like this, and you will not know what the heck to do if you don't understand my charts that I'm putting through and how to manage your own trades, what we call MYOT and ETM. Manage your own trades and ETM for effective trade management. And the people who have done the advanced coaching sessions know how to do that extremely well. Nobody's perfect in a volatile market. Volatility is meant to be confusing and difficult, but at least you know what to do. You don't have to wait for every tweet. Sometimes I've heard from some people who have free trialed and said, you know what? You don't tell me exactly when to get out. I don't tell you exactly when to get out. I show physical charts which will tell you when to get out. And he said, you don't put the exact option price that you're getting in. Are you out of your mind? I'm getting into something at $3, $4. I'm putting my exact real-time tweets out. They're off by maybe $1, especially if it's a SPX SPY options which trade like futures. You're telling me put the exact dollar? And the people think they live in fantasy world of options trading or even stock trading? Look at the stock trading part. I mentioned Netflix yesterday and many, many days, by the way. Okay. Below like 380, 390. Thing shoots up to $412 today. Close to it, rounding off the figures. Options are up 160, 200%. And end of the day, they end up, the low of the day was 390. And then the stock closed at 394. It's not even an option. It's a stock. So anybody who's living in some sort of fantasy land that this is grandpa's market and everything is just going to be la 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 la, just going up, or even on the short side just completely going down, well, it's time to wake up. I have, really, I'm just sharing my thoughts with you. It's difficult for me, and I am fast, and I'm a heck of a lot smarter about the markets than most of you. And yes, some of you will get luckier than me sometimes by going short or long against me. And that's great. That means you're utilizing my charts and using your brains to do well. But in general, net to net, I will beat you at the game any day. Okay? Overall, every fool gets lucky. A consistent tactical trader at Clue Trading gets lucky a lot. And that means buying at the most difficult times and selling when everybody's happy. So, on that note, I could just shut down the webinar, but I'm just going to show you a couple of charts and move on from there. So I don't know exactly what is going on right now, but I do think that the situation in China is troubling the markets a lot. If you ask for specific directions, what will happen exactly tomorrow morning, I can't really tell you, but you will have to rely on my charts to manage your trades. So at this point, we seem like we have almost a triple bottom. Do we get another ramp up like we did today and many other days? Possible. This is on the short-term 1-hour charts. On the 5-minute charts, it's the same story. Very scraggly, very defined. We had an ascending triangle here, which was this line right there. I was dead right. It broke out, hit the previous supply point, which I showed, which was around 2750 on the E-minis. Now, it doesn't matter if you're a futures trader. For a lot of newer traders, you have to follow these charts. Learn where these machines are going to attack you. It looked really good. I did say take a lot of profits on the table. I also did say scale into some of the trades during the day, which I am down on. Even though the long-term charts look fantastic, the short-term movements don't feel good, but it's not a bear market. So if you took those big fat profits right at the table, as a smart trader, you could have just walked away from the poker table that we call options trading. Sure you can. As active traders, we engage the market along the way. And like I said, the mistake that I did was I did not go intraday short today. And any idiot who went intraday short down here most probably will regret it over the next 24 hours as we close the weekend before July 4th, before the bank stress test results, by the way, which come out Thursday at 4:30 p.m. tomorrow. And the market could very well do this. And again, fail. There's no exact 1 plus 1 equals 2. Tactical traders react to the situation at hand. Emotional traders hope for some fantasy land that might come or not come. And then dogmatic bearish traders, which some of our traders are, which is fine, it takes two to tango, always keep on thinking we are going to be down 1,000 points and the United States of America is just going to be another wasteland like many other third world countries around the world. Well, we ain't, because our markets are the strongest, the deepest, the most transparent. Our companies are producing earnings which are some of the strongest in years, and we're going to be fine. So you can listen to the dogmatic bearish short screams, the market's going to 500, 2600, blah, 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 blah. It's fine. I'm tactically bearish or bullish. Long term, I'm bullish. Intermediate term, I'm bullish. Short term, I'm playing the game. So, is it possible that it gets up there and we hit 2750 again where we failed, where I showed the lines to be? And that's why you have to focus on my chart. You don't always need me. I want my members to be independent, where they'll use my tweets to and their understanding of my charts to maximize their profits along the way. You don't have to wait for every one of my tweets. I'm doing a lot of stuff during the day, which some of you won't even have the speed or the mental strength or physical strength to do. And I'm not a 5-minute trader. My biggest money is made in swing trading. So when I hear some of the people say, "Oh, I'm really busy during the day," well, I'm a heck of a lot busier. Except this is my job, but that's not an excuse. The best money's made in swing trading, whether they're 24 hours or 48 hours. It's swing trading, so 72 hours or a week. Regeneron took 3 weeks, but it went up almost 80 points. CMG took 6 weeks, went up 110 points or more. Netflix went up 100, of course that was a lot faster, 130 points in a couple of weeks. So what are you telling me that you have to watch the screen every 5 minutes? Excuses galore, blah, 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 blah. Doesn't make me perfect, but I'm telling you the facts on the ground. I had a great conversation with a very old member who pops into the chat room once in a while. And he says, "You know what? I really, I gave up options trading." I said, "What?" "I understand it's high risk business." I said, "Did you ever try to understand my charts?" "No, no, no, I really understand your charts." "Oh, great. Do you understand trade management?" "Nope." He doesn't understand trade management. So many swing trades that I kept on showing. Not just Regeneron, not just Sarepta from 40 to 155, not Chipotle from 280 to 470 plus. He had nothing to say. And he's a great guy, by the way. Very smart guy. Very smart tech guy. It doesn't matter what profession you're in. Trading is a game of street fight, of mental instincts working at light speed to make decisions to make money. I said, did you ever spend the time doing the advanced coaching sessions with me and stuff? No. And he's a rich guy, but he won't spend the 200 some bucks to spend those hours that I spend on early weekends and sometimes during market hours at the end of the day to help my members. No, he won't do it. He's still a member. He's a great guy. So I've heard every excuse in the world from my days on Wall Street since 1996, 1997, till I left mid 2010. And I've heard every excuse from every single member who fails to realize their own deficiencies. I've heard excuses in my head when I tell myself, they're not worth it, guys. They're bullshit, like we say in New York. Bull crap. You don't make the effort to understand, you will fail. Futures are up 7.25 points right now. You're seeing that right now. They'll probably hit 27.16, 27.17, just the way in my other videos when I showed where the bottom was going to be, where they're going to bounce from. Today was a pure technical event. China, forced margin sellouts, quarterly window dressing, some shifting around. First, the markups. Second, the forced margin sellouts. Markets are fine. I'm not asking for the moon, but it looks very likely we're going to get to about 27.50. Many of my members, very proud of them. I'm going to give a couple of shout outs. Fish Eyes, one of my best tactical traders, somebody who's been with me for a long time. You think I pay people to say good things about me? I don't care. Because confidence, like my dad used to say, is what you believe in yourself, not what other people say about you. Because if they don't think you're good when you know you're doing the right thing, it's just fine. Misery loves company. And most traders are in a miserable state because all they do is do the most stupid things. And I'm just saying the truth. That's clear to say trading. So the bottom line is the markets are difficult. So is life. You want to be a welfare kid? Fine. Go on welfare. You want to be a fighter? Work hard, make your own money? That's what we do here. That's capitalism. That's what makes America great. Not sitting there making excuses and blaming other people for your miseries. Don't blame other people for your miseries. Don't blame the markets for your miseries. Blame yourself. So this is what's going on, gentlemen. And every level that the market's going to hit and pause, retrace back, and move forward is shown in my multiple charts. So I'm going to scan through a couple of these, open it up for a couple of quick questions, and then close the day. How about that? Close the evening. So I didn't need to do this, but I did need to do this because I know many of you are just flabbergasted. And it is difficult. I know that. So at this point on the hourly chart for swing traders, very important. Believe it or not, through all these machinations, through all this heavy volatility, it still looks like a W pattern. A complex one or a dragon bullish, but it still looks like that. This is your big, big, big resistance level where the market's ramped up, where everything looked fantastic. People are very happy, chat rooms very chatty, and this is when things kind of fall apart. Now this is hourly chart, so every hour this happened, and I repeat again, I made the mistake of not shorting these hourly candles, and I regret it. So that's your hourly picture. Let me scan through as we're zooming out. As we zoom out, we are now looking at the daily picture. The daily picture right now on the E-minis is right here. We are very heavily, deeply oversold. And some members who are very proficient traders are talking about 2,600. Like, no, fine, it can go there. We know what the levels are. This is the break-even level for 2018. But to get dogmatically bearish and keep on just producing the same stock tweets and other trading forums who are just completely nothing but emotional traders talk about the same blah, 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 sometimes I have to just shut them off. So talk some technical sense, talk some sense about where the realities of what these megaphone patterns and where the bottoms can be instead of telling me how bad things can get. That's where we are. This is pretty serious stuff. This means that there is severe capitulation, mental and numerical market capitulation. This is a daily. This is not even an hourly. It doesn't take rocket science to figure out. I've seen this happen year over year over year. You get a sharp reflex bounce. Now, this reflex bounce will hit the levels that I keep on showing. Right now, we're seeing that green candle appear right there with futures up 550. This was a lovely green candle up here to the level that I showed, 27.47. I thought it was going to get to the 27.57 level. But hey, you made a lot of money, 160, 200%, just by trading between yesterday and today, where the markets were up 280 some points or 278 points. And now the same crap is happening. This is a megaphone. Does it always work? No. But we deal in probabilities, not hopium. We deal in probabilities of what might happen. So based on that, if you enhance this, very sharp moves down. This was a big black swan event after the initial run up. No question about it. But this would convince me would be a total collapse if the full stochastics were still hovering up here. But no, they're down here in the gutter, 300 feet down in the canyon, wherever you fell. Ask some of the coal miners who get trapped in a coal mine 300 feet down. Isn't there some soccer team fans like fell through a gaping hole? I was looking at Reuters or somewhere in South America. Tragedy. Okay, but because things are so deeply oversold, it's tough for me to go short. I'm not an idiot. If I thought I was going to make money on the short side, of course I would do it. I'm a tactical trader. I want to make money. I don't care if I'm a bull or a bear. In general, I'm a bull because I believe good things in life will happen for those who believe in God and in their own in efforts. You have to believe in both. I'm not some dogmatic bear back in 2009 when I, telling my clients, that's it, get out of everything. And the market's up a gazillion points since then. I still remember one of my clients had 1,000 shares of Apple at $100. He sold at 80. After all those splits, where is Apple today? And he was a very smart guy. Made about 400,000 plus bucks a year, plus bonus, wife tax attorney, big shots. Idiotic about the markets, just like many of you. Can be very successful in your careers, but the market is not for the so-called intellectual. It is for the street fighters who understand the game theory, and in my case, understands charts. So that's it. So I don't know what our futures are going to be tomorrow, but I do know what the levels are. We could possibly, if things really break down, we could get to 26.74. Get ready. Always have cash on the side. Don't have that much cash? Well, I can't help you on that. Go ask your grandma for it. All right? And if you ask for exact things that's going to happen every 15 minutes, I'll show you great charts, but don't ask me for exact volatility moves. I'm showing you probabilities of what might happen. End of the quarter, end of the month is on the 30th. Generally, it's a bullish event, which it was today before things fell apart. There's a lot of stuff happening overseas. A lot of these trade tensions are still in gear, even though they're positive. One more Trump tweet on something, he goes nuts sometimes. Remember, I like Donald. I voted for Donald. Do I think he's a great guy? No. I think he's a total New York idiot. That's why I love him. Because none of you out there, out in the hinterlands, in the Midwest and the West Coast and in the South, you don't understand what Trump is all about. You voted for him for whatever your ideological reasons were. I voted for him because I knew that business-wise, and he's not the great businessman, by the way, because he went bankrupt 4 times. He lost my Wall Street clients millions of dollars. But I do know one thing. He's got a great team. He's a smooth talker. And he's not an ideologue, regardless of what people think. Okay? Believe me what I know. And do you think he's the straightest guy in the world? No. He's a borderline New York crook. But he's smart. And I like smart people who are running our country. All right? So all you guys who idolize, Donald, I love Donald. And I know he's going to get things right. But his tweets can get extremely nerve-wracking for the markets. That's why we're having this extreme volatility. Remember, idolize nobody but God. A human has a lot of faults. And our friend and my good friend Donald, believe me, I know his CFO well, okay, has a lot of faults. So don't idolize people. Idolize God. But I think he's a great businessman. I think he's doing the right thing for America. And that's all I'm going to say. So, saying all that, this is where we are. This is actually the most accurate chart when I show it. It's the 1 hour of the S&P. Now, it's not real time right now. But this gap might get filled at 2676 before things get hot and heavy. But I have a tough time really going really short the market, other than a few hedges here and there, is because these are nosediving, these stows. And I'm showing you the simplest things here. I could spend the next 2 hours showing you very complicated charts of what I look at. McLaren oscillators, vortex indexes, all kinds of, like, so many different indicators are out there. Chalk and money flow, the complex MACDs, everything. But what's it worth? Just look at it simplistically. I'm not here to show off my prowess of what many things I look at. I'm just trying to make your life simple. When things get this deep, it's tough to short, guys. But it's true that we can easily drop that quickly. In fact, I want that drop to happen overnight, if it happens. China's falling apart. You think the Chinese are stupid people? I mean, the Chinese government? They took 1 billion people out of poverty into the middle class. More than 1 billion people. We haven't even done that in the past century. Seriously, think. They're very smart. They'll prop up their markets like they did during the Asian crisis, during the China crisis back in the 2010-2011 period. They'll do it. They'll infuse money. They'll do things. It's a controlled economy. That's why I don't like government coming into private business. That's why I criticize Donald sometimes when he goes into the Harley Davidsons of the world, one of the greatest American icons, and tells them what to do. Let U.S. business free. That's capitalism. When you meddle into private business, guys, and it's the last thing I'll say, is when you screw up financial markets. That's why you have this huge volatility. U.S. business is one of the finest entities in the world. And you're telling them what to do? That's communism. That's socialism. Imagine if Obama did that. And he tried to do that a couple of times. Well, we don't like it. We don't like when government comes into business. Let U.S. business free. That's what we do. Freedom, capitalism. Don't poke your nose into how a business should run. Don't tell them what to do. They will do the right thing by America. God bless the USA. Have a great evening, guys.